Welcome to the Recovering Perfectionist Podcast, where I empower you to develop sustainable habits, challenge society, and take messy action. I'm Christine, life balance coach and world champion ballroom dancer, and I believe that everyone has the power to create their very own life by design. The Recovering Perfectionist Podcast was created with a mission to encourage a life of abundance by finding peace and acceptance in our own imperfections and developing healthy self-love through sustainable habits and manifestation. It's time to align with the universe for the full human experience and redefine what it really means to be successful.
It's too good, the secret is out and wow.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Recovering Perfectionist Podcast. It is the final episode of season 2. Can you believe it? This is crazy. I can't believe that we are already on the final episode of season 2. I've decided to do 11 episodes in each season, and I had so many incredible people reach out to me that wanted to be a guest on season 2, and it was incredible. And if you go back and haven't listened to any of the episodes or missed a few, definitely go back and binge season 1 and season 2, but season 2 has some incredible, talented, spiritual, beautiful souls that we had on these episodes, and I was just honored to be able to chat with them, to share our conversations with you guys, and to just help us all learn from each other and grow. And so that is kind of what I want to do for this final episode, is just to reflect on growth in general, but what exactly growth looks like. I think that is something that I have been asking myself for a little bit now, and I know a lot of people ask themselves that, maybe not out loud, but I think it's really difficult to see these days what if your work that you're putting into yourself is working and what that looks like. So I just wanted to, and I want to just disclaimer by saying that growth looks different for everybody. So let me say that again, louder for people in the back. Growth looks different for everybody. So it's just like when you see, we talk about this all the time, is comparing someone's chapter 20 to your chapter 1. They also had a chapter 1, and it could have even looked worse than your chapter 1, or, better or worse. That's an opinion, but it could have looked, more difficult. And I think that comparing your growth to somebody else's growth is something that we naturally all do because we have social media and we, see people and we see what they're doing and we're like, why aren't we there yet? I am completely victim to that. I do that all the time. But you have to train yourself to say, okay, well, my growth is different and my growth is for me, and I have different things that I am learning to grow through than someone else's. So, and as a foreshadowing, a little spoiler alert for season 3, I am going to take a little bit of a break. I have a couple of events that I want to focus on, but I'm going to come back for season 3, and I'm going to do something in my life that I've never done before. I am wrapping up this summer of doing all kinds of different events, and I do, interviews, social media, dancing, all kinds of different things at these events. And for the first time ever, I'm going to take an entire month, and I'm going to completely focus on me and my growth. And that means I've not booked anything. I have nothing specific that I'm doing. I'm just going to do a lot of journaling, meditation, possibly do a wellness retreat. I'm going to completely first of all, I'm going to document a lot of it just because I want to see where my mindset is from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. It's very important for me because October is my birthday month. So I think it's really important that, September be the month that I, put every last hurrah into pushing for my personal and spiritual growth and really go into the new year of, birthday year feeling great and feeling revived and refreshed and evolved and all of the things. Now, that doesn't mean, we're constantly growing. So we know that 1 month of focusing on this is not going to change my entire life. But at the same time, it could. And it could because it's something I've never done for myself before. So I have a new bike, I have roller skates, I have, all kinds of things I want to start like implementing into my days that I just have not had the time to do. And I am going to fully commit to really just focusing on manifestation, visualization, and all of the things that to push myself into the life that I'm trying to create. And also, I think the biggest part for me is just surrendering the anxiety, surrendering the stress of the biggest things for me are running out of time. And getting closer to a birthday doesn't help. So that's why I'm kind of trying to balance that with some more positivity instead of like anxiety of getting older. And also just trying to focus on surrendering the how. That's my biggest problem for sure. And in manifestation, you really need to surrender the how and the when to the universe. And I have all of these goals and dreams and all these things I want to do and traveling and all of this. And, COVID is up, it's down, it's up again, it's whatever. And all of these things just feel like they're completely beyond my control. And so I think what better way to really just kind of put the universe in the driver's seat. I've planted a lot of seeds over the past many years, but specifically over the past 6 months. And I am like, you know what, universe, put me in the right place. Take me to where you want me to go. Use me the way you want me to be serving and doing what I need to be doing, and help me to feel fulfilled and to put me in my next chapter in my next journey. So I'm going to take this challenge upon myself and do that. So it's going to be really exciting because I do want to obviously create some podcasts from that type of growth. I want to, possibly do some type of like audio journal type things that will help to show someone else possible growth and different things that can work and work for them, work for, whatever. And so I think there will be a lot of ideas that come from that will definitely be implemented into the podcast and specifically in season 3. So I'm very excited. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, wrapping up season 2, we're discussing growth, and we have talked about how it looks different for everyone. So I wanted to share a little bit about where my growth has been recently and how I've been seeing progress, because I think for me the biggest thing is I have great days and then I have not so great days, and then I have, good weeks and long runs, and then I hit a wall for a couple of days. And that just, it feels like everything is falling apart and not working, and I was doing so well, so why am I hitting this wall, And I think the misconception of growth is that you never have bad days anymore. You've become so evolved and so, grounded in yourself that now all of a sudden you don't have bad days and you don't hit walls and, you don't crash and burn. And I think that that is a misconception for sure of how growth is supposed to go, obviously. But I always say sometimes it gets better before it gets worse, and that's just because you're purging all of these toxic emotions and energies that have been built up over the years, all these energies you've absorbed from experiences, from other people, from all of these things that have happened around you, that now you're, truly going through them and journaling about them and purging them, and that is going to make it feel like almost like you're going through it again, but you're getting it out of you, and that can feel very um, like you're moving backwards, I think. So I've had that recently, and I've been going through the emotions and all the things. And those who know me growing up in competitive sports and everything, emotions was really just not a thing. It was very like I just go and I do and I perform and I achieve and all of the things. And it was not about, oh no, I'm not having a good day, I'm not going to, do what I need to do. I'm not feeling it today. That was never my childhood. So growing up now, as an adult and going through these emotions and growth and having intention behind my growth and spirituality is becoming, I'm becoming much more acquainted with my emotions and accepting that, okay, there is, this may not be the best day, or maybe I'm not feeling it, or like I've actually been putting off this podcast for a couple days because I've been a little bit busy, but also I just haven't found the words and found the inspiration to put it all together. And so I have been giving myself grace and catching up on, you know, some me time and all of those things. And in the past, I would not have done that. I would have just powered through and I would have pushed and I would have made it happen and got it out. And it maybe would have been great. It maybe not would have been great, but it doesn't matter because it would have gotten done. And so now I am allowing myself to do it in the right timing. And that may not always be the timing that I think is correct from the start. So that's been something that I've noticed in my personal growth that has helped a lot to see that I am growing, that I am giving myself a lot more grace. As an overachiever, as an achiever, period, as a perfectionist, and just as someone who is just a turn it on performer kind of person, allowing myself to have grace and to not feel pressure to do every single day and perform. It is quite a different experience, just allowing myself to be and be more present in the moment. And it's been quite a relief. So, and then feeling okay after that and feeling like, okay, well, resting today was what my body wanted or what my mind wanted. And I didn't feel like disappointed in myself because I didn't get anything accomplished. And that is a huge shift for my mindset for sure. I think another thing is being faced with, you know, repetitive situations or things that have happened in the past that I've acted a certain way and then now I'm reacting very differently to them. I'm trying to think of kind of an example right now, but just anything that happens in your life that, you've maybe reacted a certain way and maybe didn't like that reaction or it didn't create a positive result in your life or with someone else, seeing growth and having, usually the universe will bring back a similar situation, maybe with a different person, but the same situation, maybe with different people, different, circumstances, but you are being confronted with the same problem or the same, decision to make. And the universe is testing you to see if you've grown, to see what decision you'll make. And it doesn't always mean that's the crazy part. It's not so black and white where it's like, well, last time you did this, so this time you do this. It's 50-50. It's not usually like that. There are numerous amount of decisions that could be made in many different circumstances. And I think that's what's so exciting about the universe and limitless possibilities and manifesting and all of those things is that sometimes you're faced with the same situation and the same decision to make, but you also have 3 or 4 different ways you could go with it. And so showing the growth is really when you make a decision that is serving you, but is also putting out positivity into the world. And of course, it is very different based on different situations. I think a lot of things that I've been dealing with recently is how I react to certain people in my life that I have just maybe it hasn't been a very positive experience or it's been very difficult or we're just difference of opinion or whatever. And seeing how I am letting it affect me differently these days is definitely showing that I have started to allow things to just kind of not affect me as deep, and it's just not that serious. What's the cliche? Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. So, like, really just not letting things get to you on a deeper level that then affects so many other areas of your life, because it's really not that big of a deal to begin with. And that's something I've definitely seen some progress in myself. So, let's see. So another thing is like basking in the past. This was something that happened to me recently. I go back to my hometown probably like maybe once a year, maybe. Sometimes now it's every other year. But recently I went back for a work thing, and my hometown was someplace that a lot of people knew my family and our studio that we had and everything. And also when I go back, I tend to go back into dancing, and I see people in the dance community and all of that. So they know me very well. And I've always loved that, because as great as it was that I was doing amazing things on the West Coast and everyone was excited to hear what we were doing and all of those things, I was very excited to always be, you know, back in my hometown where everybody knew my name, and it's that 90s sitcom, that Cheers, everybody knows your name kind of thing. And I had all these accomplishments and won all my titles and did all these things at that time in my life. And I was always still trying to work towards the big goal on the West Coast for the past 5 to 10 years or so, and since I moved. And now going back, all of a sudden in the past couple of months, even six months to a year, I've just not wanted to talk about the past. I've not wanted to, bring up all these things. I just want to get my work done and get out. And that is something that I didn't really realize I was doing until it was happening. And I was like, oh, I didn't really want to continue those conversations with those people that were just talking about the past and nostalgic and kind of doing all of that. And yeah, it's fun to reminisce every now and again. And, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long, blah, blah, blah. But when you are getting to a point where you're living in the past and you're kind of not pushing towards the future or even being present in the moment, that's when it can really start to mess with your mind, and you feel like maybe your best days are behind you. And I think that was what was happening to me for a while, and now seeing me moving forward and feeling more grounded in who I am now, and it's like, yeah, that was me, but like, this is what I'm doing now kind of thing. It's been really nice and refreshing to feel just a little bit more grounded in who I am and solid in that. And I mean, a huge part of growth is going to be creating new habits, obviously, right? Just like I talked about, just kind of like, for me, it's getting out of my house more. I'm more remote working, so I tend to work a lot indoors. I love being outside, but it's just not something I'm consciously doing because I'm just getting things done. And so taking the breaks, I work with a lot of my clients on the Pomodoro effect, or the Pomodoro method, which is 90 minutes on, 20 minutes off. So working for 90 minutes straight, stopping wherever you are, not trying to push through, and then taking 20 minutes and just going outside, getting a change of scenery, a change of environment, fresh air, taking a bike ride around. Like, these are things I am, definitely trying to implement, and seeing that I'm actually enjoying it more and feeling my habits changing, which is really, really nice. A small one, but kind of feels like a huge win for me, is I tend to use a microwave a little bit more often than I would like. And my husband's not a big microwave person. We actually didn't have one in our apartment for like 6 months when we first moved in together many years ago. And then we finally got one, but I have been drinking a lot more tea recently, and I would just put some water in a mug and pop it in the microwave. And for our wedding, we got a water kettle, and my husband loves using it, and I don't know, it just was not something I would naturally do is just, we live most of our life in habitual behavior, and I was just watering the mug in the microwave, and then there's my tea. And I now use this kettle all the time. I actually ended up using it at my friend's house, and then all of a sudden I came home and I was like, I have one. Why am I not using this? And because that's how she did tea, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So it took me going somewhere else to use it there to then, and I think the best advice that I would give myself is just do it. Just start something and then make it a new thing and just roll with it. And it will become then the thing that you do. And it happened so fast that it just changed, and I don't even think about popping my mug in the microwave anymore. So again, like I said, small thing, but the small wins sometimes are the biggest ones for some people, just because it's just, it depends on what you are trying to accomplish. So creating new habits, obviously not accepting old behaviors, which is kind of what we talked about before, like, some similar situations coming up and then changing your reaction to them, or your behavior is different in that. Just toxic behaviors that you don't want to react a certain way, or you want to change certain things if you start to see growth there. Choosing you and learning to say no. That's a huge one for so many people. I think that is something I am going to do for myself after this crazy summer. And I am very excited for 1 month to be choosing me and just really focusing on solidifying my growth, writing down all the things, how I want my days to go, all of that, and incorporating, because that's the thing for me is I'll write all these things down. I want things to be a certain way and my days to go a certain way, and then I wake up and maybe I feel a little bit more tired and I'm not as motivated, or I'm excited, but then all of a sudden 3 people need me that day for some random thing. So now I've, put aside what I was going to do, and because those are maybe time sensitive or priority, so then now all of a sudden I go into work mode and achieving and checking off my list and all that stuff, and then it's really hard for me to switch back into the mindset of like personal growth, slowing down, meditation, invert table, bike riding, all the things that I'm like, okay, I really should be taking. Even once I'm working, I'm like in full work mode. It's really hard for me to be like, let's just take 30 minutes and go to the pool downstairs. And that's just not me. I just need to and I kind of want that to be me so I can learn to incorporate that. But I think I'm much more of like on one side or the other. And so what I'm hoping that this month does is it allows me to be completely on the other side, to fully commit to myself and not feel like I have to make money, achieve, perform, like I said, perfect everything, do all the things. And I can really focus on all the things I've been wanting to do for myself, and then start to incorporate both lives together. So then allow myself to still be achieving, making money, doing all the things I want to do, but then allow myself to stop halfway through the day and then focus on me, or even take an hour out of the day and just be about me or whatever. And that is something I'm looking forward to. But I think for me personally, the way I need to get there, because it hasn't worked any other way, is to be able to really focus 100% just on what I'm trying to do, and then come back to that. So I am very blessed that I'm able to take a month where I really don't feel like I have to worry about making money, working, achieving all of those things. I've been working towards this to make sure that that's a possibility. And then honestly, what I'm hoping happens is by surrendering and allowing myself to breathe for a second, taking time off, that's actually going to grow a lot of these seeds I've planted with the universe, and that is going to bring on some possibilities and some business opportunities that I have been going in a direction of, that now I'm thinking, okay, I was trying to figure out which ones I was going to do, and I can't do it all, and I plant so many seeds. I think the universe is finally going to be able to guide me once I clear my head enough to be like, this is the path you should be taking, or this is a path that might be interesting to you, or maybe you should try this one. And so I'm very excited. That's kind of why I'm trying to clear my head as much as possible and surrender, and not just keep pushing, because I don't feel like that's really working and serving me on the long run. So yeah, so learning to say no is what I've been doing. So choosing me, learning to say no is, people are asking me, like, if anyone is booking me for September, I'm like, nope, sorry, I'm all booked up, or I'm not available that month or whatever. And unless it's like some crazy, amazing opportunity, I am not doing it. And that is very, very hard because as a achiever and things like, and a perfectionist, you want to serve people. You want to provide them with an opportunity. They're coming to you. They want to do business. They want to do all these things. And, it's an opportunity to make money. It's an opportunity for all the things to keep your relationships going. And to say no to that is very, very difficult. And it's a power move, honestly, the way I see it. Because it's a huge power move in choosing you and doing that. So I'm looking forward to all of those intentional decisions paying off. And altogether, your mindset is just going to shift a lot. It's going to, you're just going to feel different. You're going to start to see the way that you think on a daily basis, or maybe doing something that you always do, like maybe just going to see a movie or just going out to eat or something like that. All of a sudden, there's going to be different ways that you perceive the world. And that is your mindset shifting because you are intentionally growing and changing your reality and making different choices that are pushing you in a positive direction for your growth. And I see that every day. I see it on a small scale, I see it on a big scale, I see it on the way I interact with my husband, I see it on the way I make food in the kitchen, I see it on the way my sleep schedule has changed just slightly, which is interesting for me because my sleep schedule is pretty solid. It's the one thing I'm actually the most proud of because I really allow myself to never forfeit my sleep. And, if I have to get up early for something or whatever, I do that for however many days and then I go right back to what it is I need to do. And I really feel like I get my sleep. But recently I've been getting up a little earlier, which has been nice because I actually want to be doing that. But I'm still feeling just as rested. And that's allowing me to maybe go to bed. It's only shifted by like an hour, but an hour in my day makes a difference. And I think it's been interesting. So, and that's not something I was trying to do. It's not something I was doing intentionally. It was just something that kind of happened. So you'll see a lot of repercussions of things that are moving in your life and shifting. A couple friends of mine have recently discussed that their growth has given them clearer skin, like a lot of physical things that have happened to them, whether it be like eczema on their skin or allergic reactions, allergies in general, headaches, body aches, muscle, all kinds of different things that some people experience. I've been really blessed being an athlete that I haven't had many of those issues. But I have some friends that have, and they've said that their spiritual growth has given them major changes in their physical body in such a positive way. So that's really cool too, and something that if you're going through something like that, whether it be weight or skin issues or muscle or anything, headaches, that kind of thing, then I definitely feel like with less anxiety and stress and just more mindfulness, those are definitely things that are going to be positive reactions that can disappear from your life or just be better in general. So that's all good things to look forward to. And yeah, I think for me, I want to share with you a little bit of kind of what I've been doing because I feel like this month that I'm going to fully commit to all of the things all the tools I've been collecting and all of the techniques and exercises I've been, implementing, but not on a consistent basis. That's more what I'm trying to do with this month is create consistency because new habits are created from consistency. And so because of my schedule where I travel a lot and I randomly do different events and different, projects and things like that, consistency is very hard to maintain in my life. And that is something that I have been really trying to do as much as possible. So aside from like my sleep schedule and taking my supplements and probiotics every day, there isn't really a lot that's consistent. I mean, my habits of like different things that I do, of course, there's lots of different things. But as far as my new mindfulness habits and my personal growth and meditation and all those things that I've been trying to do, those are things that I really want to create and more solidify into my life. So I have created, well, with my life coaching, I've created a 5-step process to creating sustainable habits. And I'm actually going to do an entire episode just on that. I may make that actually my season 3 premiere episode. So stay tuned for that. But I have created a 5-step process to a method to creating sustainable habits. And it has been really working for me specifically. It's been helping a lot in my life coaching with my clients as well. And I've been loving it. So I'm really sharing it a lot more and really applying it in my own life to kind of cause and effect results and different things like that. Another thing I've been doing is I have been in therapy. I've been working with coaches as well. Currently, I've been working with 2 specific coaches that have been helping me through some limiting beliefs, some toxic relationships I've been working through, just some general depressive moments and moods and things like that, and just trying to feel unstuck and more productive and more, I mean, not even productive. I think that's such an achieving word, but more mindful and fulfilling. And that's been extremely helpful. I would say my biggest advice, as it always is, being a coach myself, is, because even coaches have coaches, is to get a coach or therapist or someone that can help you that's not connected to you like in a family way or a friend, like someone that is completely unbiased and that can help you just weed through all of your thoughts and, you know, give you feedback and help you with tactics, techniques, exercises, all of that stuff. I have been gathering new recipes, new meditations, things like that. I'm not a big person in the kitchen, so that's been a big thing for me, is, you know, intentionally trying to find things I like to eat, things to cook, all of that kind of stuff, and not feel like I have to go searching for it. Like I told you before, I got the bike, I got the roller skates, which those things are also because my husband and I are trying to do those things together. We really want to go biking together and roller skating and all of those things. So those are things that we've both purchased together, and also something I can do on my own as well if he's at work. Another cool thing that I recently jumped onto is called Silk and Sonder. It's a shout out to this company that is really trying to create better habits and mindfulness and all of the things that I'm looking for in my life. And they send you a journal every month that has activities in it, habit trackers, calendars, all kinds of things throughout the month. And you can also be part of their online community on Facebook. You'll get their emails, their text messages, all the things. You can, you know, choose which ones you want to be a part of. And it's basically this community of people that are really trying to grow and create better habits in their life. And I'm loving it. It's also really cool from a coach's perspective for something that I may want to create in the future. It's very inspiring. I'm getting a lot of really cool ideas of something that I might want to put out into the world that can help people be more mindful and track their progress. So I'm really loving being the student in this kind of little experiment I'm doing, and really seeing what helps me and what allows me to keep track of my habits more, and creating new habits and all of these awesome things. So that's something, if you're interested, I can link that in the show notes as well, of how to do more of that. And what else am I doing? So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now. Definitely a work in progress, which is just totally fine, and I totally accept that, and it's fabulous. The journey is the human experience, and that's what we signed up for. And I tell my clients all the time, progress, not perfection. And that is why we're all here, recovering perfectionist in the flesh. So I was really glad to be able to do this last episode of season 2 just for myself and just with me, and to be able to share kind of my thoughts and where I'm at in my life right now. I don't share a lot of personal details on Instagram, or, when I'm coaching, obviously I'm working with my clients on their life and their habits and everything. So it's nice to be able to have this platform to share what it is I'm doing, how I'm growing, how I'm holding myself accountable, my intentions, and different things like that. And I love being able to share that with this community and track progress on everything that is happening, and also then have guests on and see where they're at and bring on new conversations and new topics of things that are very important to discuss in today's world. So if there is something specific you want to discuss, or you want me to discuss, please comment, share with our community on our Facebook pages, Instagram. All of that is linked in the show notes. And yeah, if you like what you hear, leave us a review. Tell me what you're interested in, and I'm excited to have some more amazing guests in season 3, and I'm also excited to share with you the progress of my 1 month off. I'm very, very excited about that, because I think that's going to be really exciting. It's going to be really inspiring and rejuvenating for my content and for just my mind in general. And I look forward to sharing that with you all. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful month. And I will be taking a small little break, but go back and binge watch season 1 and season 2, or binge listen season 1 and season 2 of The Recovering Perfectionist. And I am so excited to have you on this journey with me, and I look forward to being back in season 3. Thank you so much for listening to the Recovering Perfectionist Podcast. I'm Christine, and if this episode resonated with you or spoke to you in any way, please feel free to share. I absolutely love hearing from you guys and your thoughts about the topics based on your experiences. And also, if there's anything you want me to talk about, just screenshot this episode and share it on social media with your comments. Your feedback really helps me to curate episodes that best serve you. If you have time, I would greatly appreciate if you could leave a review wherever you're listening to this episode, whether on Apple or Spotify or any other platform. I'm wishing you a blessed week ahead, and remember, perfection doesn't exist. Take messy action. Healthy habits keep us balanced, and you are enough.